I'm just here in StreamYard.
And we're live. So hi, everybody. Welcome, Future Bestsellers, friends, cat lovers, coffee lovers, and hangers on. We are super glad to see you today. And as you will notice, we have Lainey Davis with us here today. And I am super excited about that. We actually did a video interview about your Kickstarter campaign, which I really want to talk about today because I know a lot of people are super interested in that. And we're going to save some of it, but you have something really cool to show us. So I'm like, you guys are definitely going to want to see this. It's super exciting. But before we get going, let's introduce everybody today. And we're going to start with you, Lainey, since you are our special guest. Tell us a little bit about you and the kind of books you write.
Hello. Yes, I write contemporary steamy romance, and I live in Pittsburgh, and so most of my books are set here in Pittsburgh. Yeah,
awesome. You've written a lot of books. How many books have you written?
22 came out yesterday.
Is that true? 22 books came out yesterday? That can't be right.
I mean, book number 22.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? That's a lot. Like, that's more rapid release than we're used to around here. 22 books.
No, I do not rapidly read. I do like 4 a year.
That's good. I mean, that's still rapid. Like for me, I think coming from traditional publishing, I'm like, 4 books a year. That feels like my big stretch goal for this year is 4 books in the year. We'll see how it goes. So thank you so much for being here today. Story Detective Robert Jones is here. As always, we're super glad to see you. Robert, tell us a little about you and your channel.
Well, my absentee channel takes various forms of storytelling, from visuals, from my time at Marvel Comics, to writing and other things, and putting it under a Sherlockian microscope, breaking down the craft and giving it to the viewer to make your craft journey easier. And there are more videos coming. There's just, there's drafting and other things going on for a little while first.
You stick to the writing, Robert. We're very excited you're going to have one coming out soonish. So yeah, keep rolling on that. Michelle Schusterman, as always, glad to see you today. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
All right, I'm Michelle. I write middle grade and young adult novels, and my channel is Writing Workshops, Traditional Publishing Chat, and Writing Vlogs.
Thank you so much for being here. And of course, I'm Lisa Daly. This is my channel. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here today. I'm a formerly traditionally published author, now indie published author. And on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published and market it. So yay. I'm super glad today that we are doing these because I feel like I'm like in the zone for writing today. So I'm very excited about that. I'm going to be working on yet another hockey romance today. Lainey, what will you be working on today?
I'm going to be working on book 4 in my Bridges and Bitters series, which will come out hopefully in June. So
yay, excellent. How about you, Story Detective? Who are you working on? What characters?
I'm working on my Sherlockian manuscript. So those are the characters. I'm in the 1800s today.
That's excellent. It's always nice to do a little time traveling during the stream. Michelle, what are you going to be working on today?
I am going to be working on revising my mystery novel. Yay!
I'm dying to talk to you about this because I want to know about what you're planning. You're planning for. You're going to do a traditional submission, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm still so far away from that, but yes. That is the plan.
I'm super excited to hear about it. All right, you guys, let's say hello to our friends in the chat. Looks like our chat's really slow this morning. I wonder what that's up. Thank you, StreamYard. Mama Ward is here. Hello. We are super glad to see you today. What are you guys working on in the chat? Let us know. Swinton's here today. Hello. So glad to see you. Amy's here. Hello. She says hi and welcome, Lainey. Yay. All right. And Cool Gamer is here. Hello. Thank you so much for being here today. We really don't have much in the way of comments on StreamYard. And I imagine that it's because YouTube and StreamYard are not playing nicely today. I hope we don't have any other problems. Amy's here. So that means gremlins, but that's going to be okay. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get started with our 5-minute warm-up. Because when we come back, I'm dying for Lainey to show you guys this super cool thing that she did for her Kickstarter campaign. Nina's here. Hello, Nina. Very glad to see you. Esperanza's here. Hello. So glad to see you. Amy says social media, so many hashtags or like that. Yes, feel that. Mama Ward is editing and formatting book 3 for this year's publishing plan. Very nice. Very nice. I have like my big plan this year is to do Sky Warren's like marketing event a week thing, which on one hand, I feel like every week, like, I got to get all this stuff that like every week my year's mapped out. But on the other hand, I'm shocked at how much progress I'm making on so many fronts, because I have like Beth, who's like my social media helper, is like, do you have the cover yet for blank? Like I have like folks sort of, because I have some parts and other people have other parts, I have like this great glacial movement in the correct direction. I was sort of surprised. I didn't realize like how great that would be for accountability. I thought it would just be great for promotion. Anyway, all right, you guys, let's get started with a 5-minute warm-up sprint. I am ready. Let's see where we are here. There we go. Look at me today, you guys. I'm trying to be fancy because we have a guest. I have all my timers up today. What? It's like a February miracle. All right, here we go. Here we go. We are going to get started this morning with our first 5-minute warm-up sprint. Well, first and only 5-minute warm-up sprint. So get your document open and your water bottle and let us know in the chat what you're going to be working on today. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, sprint. All right. Very nice. I'm feeling good. All right. How'd you guys do on our 5-minute warm up?
Very good.
Excellent. How about
I'm just
everybody in the
moving stuff
chat?
around.
Yeah.
Had to
All
find
right.
some scenes to move up into the story that I put later on, so I'm digging around trying to find them.
I do that all the time. I have I mean, I'll create various systems to try to alleviate that issue, but it still happens. So let's say hi to some of our friends in the chat. Hello, Becca. We are super glad to see you today. BookTube Goddess is here. Hello. We're super happy to see you. Devin's here. Valentine's Day is coming up and I need to finish my crochet projects. I don't know if that's a joke or if it's true, but I love it either way. I'm here for it. Whichever is the truth, I love it. All right. Mary has just logged into work and is ready to be productive. Very nice. Yep. Fantastic. All right. I'm going the wrong direction as you can see. Agnes is here. Hello, Agnes. We are super glad to see you today. Vixen is here. Hello. Aw, thank you very much. So okay, let's talk. Oh, I just knocked my microphone out of the way. Right. So I feel all fancy and cool because I have like a low microphone stand that like comes up so it's not in the frame. But I often, as you guys know, talk with my hands, and so I'm always like that. You want to see that again? I should make that into like a slow motion Godzilla. Like that with that face. So let's talk about this. What we are so excited that Lainey is here because I know that we have talked about having doing your book or starting your first book or doing an older series or whatever. We talked about sort of a different variety of possibilities for using Kickstarter to either raise funds for your author career or to sell books in a new and different interesting way or to reach a new audience. There are all kinds of things. I know Robert has talked a lot about this because he's very excited about Kickstarter, and Lainey did one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. And we did a video about it, which was originally going to post this week. Now it's going to post on the 20th, I believe, whatever that Monday is. So you guys definitely want to tune in for that. Will you just give us a little sneak peek of what we talked about during the interview? Like, tell us a little bit about your Kickstarter campaign, how you got it, because we were just talking about this like in November, and then all of a sudden in January, there you are. So can you talk a little bit about how did that happen?
Well, first of all, most of my books have these kind of sexy covers. And sometimes I find I'm not able to advertise them. So I was interested in this idea of discrete covers. And Lisa and I were at a conference and we went into a session and the speaker, Russell Nolte, was like, yeah, you can do a Kickstarter for a 5th anniversary of a book. And I was like, oh, my Stag series is turning 5. And so I wanted to do discrete covers and I wanted them to also be something special. So I ordered, so this is the discrete cover for book 1.
Hold on, we're gonna okay, go ahead. Discrete cover, got it.
And then book 2 is right behind it. So as you read through book 1, you can flip it over and go to book 2. And then I did it for the next 2 in the series as well.
That's so cool.
And they're really fun, and you can't put them on retailers because you can't put ISBN on the back. So the only place you could get them in this format was on the Kickstarter, which ran in January, and I'm finishing up fulfillment now, and I'm going to do another Kickstarter for another series in March. So I have my other series that I'm going to do the same kind of thing.
I love that you decided to do a flip book. I was telling you guys earlier on the panel that the last time I saw a flip book in the wild was this book right here called The Sweet Potato Queen's Wedding Planner and Divorce Guide. So on one side, you got to love the Sweet Potato Queens if you don't. On one side is the wedding planner, and then you flip it over and it's the divorce guide, which is such a Sweet Potato Queen thing. But I just thought that was hilarious, and I have been completely fascinated with flip books ever since. And so I thought it was such a unique and interesting thing that that you did to make this Kickstarter. Like, it really made it stand out. I do want to say, so because we don't have all romance writers in our chat, a lot of people may be wondering, what is a discrete cover?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, so I
I
would say like an on-brand kind of romance cover is these folks. And that specific cover I had to change because, as you can see in the image, he is making a sensual expression. I made Amazon tell me why and he's not wearing a shirt and they are horizontal. So a discrete cover would be something that I suppose does not have those problematic elements.
Do not have naked horizontal men on the cover.
Sensual expressions.
With sensual expressions. Yeah. Right. If he's not enjoying himself, it's fine. He could just be like changing the sheets on the bed like that. But if he's smiling, then that's it.
No good.
Like, too much.
Pretty odd that they would want that change. That's not very
well, and this is a real trend in romance right now, where because the other thing is, a lot of people don't like, people who do like paperbacks and not ebooks do not want to be reading the sexy man chest book on the subway because you know, sometimes it right, well, you know, maybe you don't want your boss to see, or sometimes it attracts, you know, some unwanted attention. And so a lot of romance authors, at least indie published romance authors, are doing what Lainey called a discrete cover for the paperback, like that, and then the smutty man chest cover for the ebook. Just, you know, girls have needs. So right, so there's that. So I think that's really a very, very cool thing. I'm dying to know what made you decide to do it as a flip book. Like, what put that in your head?
That was another thing from RAM. You know, I saw another Kickstarter campaign had done that with their hardbacks. And I just loved it. And I remembered my parents used to have the classic, I forget what they were called, but I would sit on the floor in the basement and I read Robinson Crusoe, and then you flip it over and you start Treasure Island right there in the same volume, upside down. And
I love that.
All of that came back to me in this like beautiful sentimental way when I was at the conference presentation, and I wanted to do it.
I love that. I absolutely love that. All right, you guys. Well, let's go ahead and start our very first sprint today. I'm sorry. Like, I'm so excited about the flip books. I can hardly, my mind's like, sorry. I really love them. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our first 20-minute sprint. Let me just put that up. Look at me today with the timers. I feel very proud because you guys know this is a challenge for me. All right. So today we are going to do our very first 20-minute sprint. I am super excited about writing today. I feel like I'm on fire. So here we go. I hope you guys have similar feelings. And we are going to start in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Okay, very nice. Let's get everybody else. I was like really, really, really into what I was writing, and that 20 minutes went by so fast. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. How did you guys do on the last sprint?
Very good.
I found my missing scene.
Wait, you found your what?
I found my missing scene.
Oh, yay. That is awesome. That feels like a big accomplishment all by itself, right?
Yeah.
That's very nice. I had like one of those days yesterday where every single thing you think is going to take 5 minutes takes like 3 hours. And so I'm so glad that you felt like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel this special affinity toward the fact that you found your scene so quickly and easily. I'm very glad about that. So,
And, you know,
go ahead.
I was also thinking about the barcode issue.
Oh, yeah.
Because comic books went through a lot of transitions, and they had, you know, sales that were in supermarket and drugstore magazine racks. They had direct sales. There was a lot of different things going on. So they put a little area in the lower left corner where the barcode would go, but they didn't need it for all the places.
For every retailer.
So we just had to design covers, you know, with that in mind. You know, we couldn't put anything important down there because an ad would generally go on the back of a comic book. So when it was a flip book and it had to have 2 different covers, I'm not sure if they had 2 different barcodes or not, but that space was always there. So
you'd only need one, since it's a physical book that contains two books. It would be like any other sort of box set or whatever. So you really just need one barcode that you could put on the backside cover.
Well, Lisa, that example you showed from the Sweet Potato Queens, I did see they had a barcode on the back cover.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can totally see that. So it is like right there as just part of the design.
I don't like how it looks. So
something to think. I love how they put it in the middle. Like that's like, oh, that makes it all pretty now. You put it if you nicely center the barcode, isn't that so much fancier? You can't do that, of course, now because Amazon would not allow it. But
no, they insist on its placement on the back cover. Yeah.
Right. You could do something though, even if you made it like you have to have a blank space, but if you had something that I don't know how you would.
I'm sure it's not insurmountable, but I also sort of like the exclusivity of it having just been on Kickstarter, and I think the Kickstarter backers
for sure
kind of thing too. So
yeah.
I do have the 5th book in the series. I did a similarly themed, and that one has room where I can barcode. And so if I eventually put these up as alternate paperbacks, I'll just have the wraparound cover with a barcode on the back. So.
Yeah. Well, I
certainly
really
look cleaner without it.
Yeah, for sure. Right? Oh, how inconvenient. Hello, Agnes. We are super glad to see you here today. Vixen is here. Hello. Booktube Goddess says, I use book sleeves to hide what I was reading in middle school, grade books on the bus. I love that. And that is a genius solution.
Actually, that's funny. I remember, wasn't it the Harry Potter series that way early on got like a cover redesign specifically to make adults feel okay reading it in public?
Really?
Yeah, they have some different iterations of the cover too. Yeah, with like an object on it.
More adult looking, because apparently you should be ashamed for reading middle grade.
Why? Everybody read those books. How funny is that? It is. Yeah, that is really funny. Did they? Well, they didn't need to redesign the Twilight covers to make sure that moms moms feel comfortable reading them in public.
Right.
Yeah. Doll Cecil Runo is here. Hello, Doll. We are super, super glad to see you here today. Very nice. Booktube Goddess said, Mama Word says, I'd make book sleeves or covers out of wrapping paper just to protect the book I was reading because I hate damaging book jackets. Spoken like a true reader. Very.
A lot of Kickstarter people offer multiple formats in each tier, and some people are like, why would I want that? And like real paperback collectors are never going to crack the spine. Like
Right.
they have one for their shelf, they have one that they'll read. So people like to have the ebook, the audiobook, and the paperback.
That was, I think, one of the biggest surprises for me, that how many readers like to have, and yet I've completely done that. I will often buy an ebook of something, in particular, like a craft book or a marketing book, like where I really want to read it right then. But then I also want to have it for later. And so I end up buying multiples of the same
Hi,
book.
this is my Outlander shelf where I have just one of the many formats of all of my Outlander books.
I love that. That's awesome. Nina is starting to start planning the next book or new book. Yay, Nina. That is awesome. Very nice. Very, very nice. Mama Ward says, my poor character is trying to talk herself into not worrying about the odds. She reminded herself it will work. Ignore the 94% statistical chance of failure. This is good advice in general. That is very, very nice. I love that. Doll says, I'm using the ocean timers as meditation sprints. My average working sessions can go for as long as 7 hours on no stopping whatsoever. What? That is awesome. I have been using, so you guys know I love the ocean timers, and I almost always use them when I'm writing just by myself without all of you with me. And a couple months ago, I posted this super sprints timer, which is a 52-17 split, 52 minutes of working, 17 minutes of rest, which is apparently the ratio for high productivity. And so new study. Woo. And so I did this, and I'm really shocked at how much, like, it's really effective. I find that right around 52 minutes is where I'm ready to take a break. And I used to take like a 10-minute break, but I found that 17 minutes actually sort of leaves me feeling more refreshed. So maybe someday we'll just do 2 super long sprints on one of these streams. I'd be fascinated to see if you guys were on board with that. No talking though. Well, we talked for 17 minutes, but that's it. Okay, Agnes is, I'm organizing, is doing this. I'm organizing my scenes together so I can work on the rewrite of my first draft. Yay, congratulations. Doll gets the ebook or audio for reading because, of course, blindness. When I truly love a book, like an all-time favorite, I want the physical copy for my shelf. I totally relate to that. Abby, the author. Love that. Very nice. Hi, Daily Davis, Schusterman, Detective Bat Sith. Welcome, Lainey. Hi, friends. Thank you so much. We are so glad you're here today. I'm trying to be good with your name, right? Not say see you, but you know how, you guys know how I am. I can hardly control myself. All right. I do want you to give us well, actually, we'll save this for the video. I was going to say, like, I do want you to tell us the goods on the Kickstarter campaign, but I think we'll save that because you did tell us for the Kickstarter video. So we'll just leave that little carrot dangling for later.
Yeah, we have since done the fulfillment.
Yeah. So how did that go?
I thought it went okay. I no longer, I was testing out using BackerKit for the fulfillment because, folks have had some good success selling a lot more stuff after the campaign ends. And it just was not a good return on my time investment.
Right.
I walked away with $30 profit, and I had put a lot of time into setting up BackerKit. I'm not gonna
do that. Not gonna do that one again. Oh, that kind of sucks.
I'll just use BookFunnel to share digital copies, links that way, and I'll yeah.
I do. That is really interesting because I feel like I've noticed that a lot of people in our like little romance crowd have been using BackerKit. I think Sky Warren used it for her Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure Becca Syme used it for hers. I find myself getting a lot of BackerKit emails now that I never did before, and it's from funding these various Kickstarter campaigns.
Would it be too much of a spoiler to say that the campaign went well?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, give us the goods, Lainey. Did it go well, and would you do it again?
Yeah, and I am doing it again. Yeah, it was super fun, and I really came away with, if nothing else, I have a lot of really great marketing copy for my series now. Just images, new text to new ways to talk about the books. But yeah, it funded at 2,500 or so, which,
That's great.
for a series I wrote 5 years ago, pretty great.
Mhm.
And I'm hoping I could do better for the next one.
Did it? Well, I feel like you probably will, because you were doing everything for the first time with the
Yes.
last one. And now you like, okay, I know how this works. You're not learning every single thing from scratch, which is super helpful. Did you notice any crossover between, like, did you notice that your sales improved at all on like other retailers like Amazon, since that series is an existing series,
Mhm.
where people were like, oh, I'm not going to back the Kickstarter, but this book, like, I'm going to test out the first book to see if I like it.
I did not see a noticeable bump.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still though. I mean, that the other thing is that, do you feel like because you get all the emails right after the Kickstarter
Mhm.
campaign. So when I assume you've dumped them into your email platform. So do you have some idea how many of those people were new? Not yet. I was just curious, like, what percentage of those people were already on your list? So your existing people who are going to buy all your stuff, versus how many new people that came to you because they saw you first on Kickstarter, or they came, that was the thing that brought them in.
Kickstarter gives you that data. So it'll tell you which backers came from their algorithms and which ones they let you generate your own unique sharing link too.
Mhm.
So if I share my upcoming campaign, I would use this custom link, and that will tell me, because otherwise Kickstarter will claim that it brought me the people.
Right,
So,
exactly.
I found it helpful to know which people I brought and which ones the algorithm brought. And
What
I want to say it was 50-50.
that was my next question, was to ask
Yeah.
you like what the split was. So 50-50 is great. So you essentially doubled your reach for this project.
Mhm.
Yeah. I ended up with 63 backers. So, and again, Kickstarter is going to give you a lower volume of people, but each person is spending on average $40, which is
Right.
quite different than
Right.
your retail average.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I think, like, I had never read the Stag series before, but I like you, and I was like, oh, well, I want to support the campaign, and also this looks like a good series. And so instead of buying the first book in the series, which is what I would normally do to see if I like it, I was like, just ding. So I did. I bought like all 5 at once. And how often do you do that except for on something like Kickstarter? So I'm so fascinated by this. I don't know that I would pull one off this year, but I'm so enthusiastic about it that like, I'm just dying to hear everybody else's experiences. So maybe
It's good to have those numbers too, and have some basic idea, as opposed to what our readership or whatever viewership might be, and Kickstarter being able to match that.
Right. Well, and it's also super helpful. Like, Lainey, you are a USA Today bestselling author, and you have a good sized mailing list and all that, but you're also not Brandon Sanderson. So it's right. So it's nice to see, like, what can a human author do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Really.
so that is, I think, like, such a great, and this is such a great, I just thought it was such a great thing. It's what I was fascinated. I was there with Russell, and I was very inspired, but I also was like, I can't squeeze that in this year.
Yeah.
So,
I think romance is really new on Kickstarter, and a very small portion of what's moving there in their publishing. I mean, sci-fi, fantasy,
massive.
some of those campaigns are huge, tons and tons of backers. So, yeah, I'm excited to help build romance's audience on Kickstarter.
I am excited for that too. I guess I should get, I should, this is like audiobooks right now, where you have an opportunity to get in while it's still pretty early in the game. And so if you're selling books on Kickstarter, that's really, really early. Savvy is here. Hey, dude, I love launching books on Kickstarter. You know what, Savvy? So I did this great interview with Lainey about her whole experience. I did not know that you had already done one. I would love to hear your little story on that. That would be super cool. Wait, today, this isn't right. Oh, today I'm like, wait, she has a Kickstarter launching today. Today I'm working on video scripts, and then I got to film, but then I can get back to writing romances. Love, love, love. We are super glad to see you, Savvy. I feel like I haven't seen you in a million years, except for last week. But all right, we got to get you to come back on, honey. Okay, let's go ahead and do our next 20-minute sprint. Michelle's like, yes, I'm ready to write. All right. And you guys were super quiet. I want to know what you guys have questions about Kickstarter or anything else. Let us know in the chat. All right, here we go. Got our little 20-minute timer up. Okay, everybody. Whew. Take a deep breath. Let's get ready to write. Here we go. We're going to start our sprint in 3, 2, 1. Cha-cha. Okay. So I was so deep into it, I did not even notice when, like, I was like in it, didn't see the time popping up, and then I heard the end song, the toot toot at the end, and I was like, my window for StreamYard was like totally buried in the back. Yeah. Anyway, that was great for me. How did you guys do on that last sprint?
I finished a chapter.
Good for you. Very nice. Very, very nice. How'd you do, Michelle?
Pretty good. Just, another couple chapters done. I'm doing this on paper, so making it by hand. Yeah,
It's weird. That's my favorite way to edit.
I love it. Yeah.
I know, right? I like my thing that I love to do the most is to like print the whole thing out in put it in a big notebook take my little pen out there and go sit on the lanai or go float in the pool, because I have these giant floats that like keep you really high above the water.
Ooh, nice.
And while the getting onto the float and the dismount can be challenging, the actual floating, there's no danger of falling into the drink. But like I never feel more like the author I want to be than when I'm floating around in my pool editing by hand, right? Like that's like, okay, I'm living my best life here.
That is it.
Right? Exactly. Oh my gosh. We got a ton of comments now. Let's see. So Doll says she also took a break from sprints today. Caught this one. My writing sessions go for hours, and it's nice to hang out. We're very glad. Doll, you have to come back. Vixen says, I'd love to do a Kickstarter for my comic book. The reason I haven't tried is I worry about making it perfect and on time. The pressure. I feel that, especially when you're doing it all yourself for the first time.
Yeah, I would get it in reasonably good shape, but there already is a precedent set from a lot of the comic book people I used to work with, and some of them aren't very good at marketing themselves, but they're still getting funded. So
right
it's better for Kickstarter.
Right. So the bar is low, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, they have a little bit of a reputation, but their marketing leaves a lot to be desired.
Well, and I think comics require a little bit more because you have to fund your own print run, I think. Is that right for comics?
I'm not sure if they're funding the print run. I think they are, because some of them do have physical comic books. So
yeah. I mean, for a romance book campaign, you can print a couple of paperbacks, print on demand, for relatively inexpensive. So if you have the art, if you have the book already done, it is pretty low pressure, I think, to run a small campaign.
So do you think that, so I know you used a book to do your campaign, and that was called?
Okay, so it's Russell Knoll. I think it is called Get Your Book Selling on Kickstarter. Let me
track it down.
And right. I thought that was so helpful. It really is a step-by-step guide. I'm going back to it again, revisiting it as I prepare my second campaign.
That's great. When we do our next sprint, I will drop the link to that. So I wonder if it would help Vixen. Do you think, since it's not like it's a comic book, but not like a traditional, like I shouldn't say that, a comic book is a kind of a traditional book. It's not like a romance novel. So do you think that all the sort of step-by-step instruction, marketing stuff from Russell and Monica's book would be helpful for Vixen, or no?
Well, I know Kickstarter is a very visual platform. And so, and Russell himself is a comic artist. So
that's right.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
So I would say probably, and a lot of what Russell does is he'll say, here's how to do this section. Go look at this example of one of my campaigns. So, he's done a lot of successful campaigns for comics as well as books.
That's great. And just as a person who writes nonfiction books and coaches other authors on nonfiction books, that is perfect, because he's helping you to understand, but he's also taking you to his Kickstarter. So while you're there, perhaps you might like to buy a book. Yeah. Who knows? Anyway, love it. Like, right. And it's all like, here's how I did this. It's excellent for the reader to have an example, but it's also excellent for him as well. I love when you have like that kind of double duty thing. Agnes says, it's so interesting to hear about doing Kickstarters for books, since I hadn't really considered it an option before. I agree. Right. It's one of those things where I'm like on the edge, but I'm fascinated. What I hope I don't do is like wait so long and go like 3 years from now, okay, I finally got the time to do a Kickstarter, and then it's done. Shannon's here. Hello, Shannon. Super glad to see you here today. Mom is here. So much. We're very happy to see you. Savvy says, good sprint. I wish I could be writing fiction right now, but I need to film videos first. I understand that. You are such a machine, Savvy. You are so good about getting your videos done like all the time. You're constantly putting up new videos. I'm always impressed. You're my like video hero. I like writing on paper the most. I think I'm thinking of going to a coffee shop with a notebook and just going. I love that. Also one of my favorites. Doll's going to keep working on the script for the second video in her writer's block. Say that fast. Writer's block video trilogy. So that'll be interesting, but I can't do that in sprints. Good to know. Vixen is just saying thank you. I'm going to look into it some more. I thought you were leaving for a second. Yay. All right. Fantastic. So we've got 12:23 on the clock, which means we have time to do another sprint, which I'm very excited about. I hope you guys are. We didn't have any extra questions. Does anybody have something they want to ask the chat? Ooh, actually, this would be an excellent time because apparently I put down the 20-minute video and there we go. And now I have the 10-minute up. So not quite sure how that happened. All right. Ooh, Mama Ward says she made it to page 153, formatting and editing, now making brunch and dinner for hubby. Ooh, at the same time. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get our timer up on the screen. There we go. All right. It's our last sprint of the day, so let's make it a really, really good one. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's start writing. It happened to me again. Oh my gosh, I was just so into it. All right, hold on, let me get rid of this little ticker. So, how did everybody do in that last sprint for us?
That was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very productive.
I did not look at my word count, but I can tell it's a good one. Like I can, you know when you know. Yeah. So I don't know what it is, but the whole time I was just like wall to wall. Well, except for when I opened a package, which apparently I was talking here, and the horror geek just wandered in and put a package on my desk. I didn't even know it was just there, and I was like, "What happening?" So, how about you, Story Detective? How did you do?
I did pretty well. I was mapping out a new scene and I just got started on it, but I think it's off to a pretty good start.
Excellent. And how about you, Lainey? How'd you do on that last sprint?
I finished the chapter and then I moved on to do some other research.
Very nice. Very nice. So, how'd you guys do in the chat? Let us know how you are doing. Matthew had a fantastic question, or not a question, just a comment. And I wanted to talk about this because I don't know if any of you have ever had experience with Get Covers. So Matthew says, I'm waiting on Get Covers to deliver the cover for my prequel to my YA urban fantasy superhero novella. So, and what I said was, "Oh, Matthew, tell us what happened." So, has anybody here ever used Get Covers? No. So it's crazy inexpensive. It's like $20 to $35. Like $35 is like the big Mama Jamma superhero package.
Whoa.
I know, for a cover, which usually it's about 20 times that expensive. And I first heard about Get Covers from Tammy Labreck, who is the newsletter ninja, and she often uses them for newsletter magnets, which I think is a great idea because, they're often things that you're just writing for your newsletter group. They don't necessarily have their own covers. And so I thought, like, okay, that's pretty reasonable. But I had a cover where I had the front cover designed already, and I needed the full like back cover, file, etc. And I went through 87 rounds because I thought, oh, well, the front cover's already done. We'll just get this. They basically tried to like remake the cover using their artwork and different fonts. And I was like, well, this is part of a series, so we can't go changing the fonts on the cover. Like, I really need the front cover to look like this, and then you guys make the back cover to kind of match it. And it was like I had asked them to, like, I don't know, go to the moon to create my cover or something. Like, that's not a very big jump. I was like, I don't know, like, you'd think I'd ask them for the molecular formula of spam. It was so like back and forth. Now, that said, they have quite a few good covers on there, and I got like that are pretty reasonable. I mean, that look like nice covers that you would never go, oh, that's a $35 cover. And so I imagine that some people are having a good reaction, and they do as many revisions as you'd like if you pay for or if you go way up and have the executive $35 or $30 package. And so, but I found it really frustrating to go back 93 times on this one cover that was already done like that. They're like, oh, we can't duplicate someone else's work. And I'm like, no, this is it. But so I understood where they were coming from, but they're very specific. So I want to know, Matthew, what has your experience been with that? So let us know if you guys have liked that. And anybody in the chat, have you guys ever used them before? And how about you guys on the panel? Has anybody heard of them or used them before?
I would like to see what they're doing as far as comic book superhero packages. It sounds like they're going the same route that some small comic companies are going, which are using overseas artists. And that sounds about like the fee that they pay them. And granted, the money goes a lot farther in some countries, but they're also, they have large studios with a lot of people working in it. And I think they get taken advantage of to a large degree.
I think there's probably some truth in that. And I feel bad because that the person, like the art director, is just like wanting to keep their job probably.
Yeah.
And then you have pain in the neck Lisa over here saying like, here are the, here's the font release, here's the photo release, like all this is licensed. Here's this, please do it my way. And they're like, oh, I can't do it. And I feel bad. And I eventually said, like, look, just please give me the files that you have and I will just have someone else redo this. And then they kind of came back, but it still wasn't quite right. But I did just pretend. I pretended like it was okay because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. Like I just was like,
yeah,
yes, it only cost $30 or $35, but I spent so much time going back and forth. I would rather spend the money and get a cover. So let's hear. Anybody else experience this sort of thing? Let's see what we've got. Oh, so talking about the sprint, it was very productive. Yay, fantastic. Writing a script for a webcomic, hoping the artist will like it. Savvy is doing her makeup while she's listening to us talk. Very nice. Vixen did some admin in that last sprint. All right, so Shannon says, I haven't used Get Covers, but I thought about it. $10 for an ebook cover, $20 for the addition of a paperback cover, and yeah, $35 for additional marketing material. The thing about the $35 is that with that package, which is the one that I did a splurge for the executive package, the reason I got it is because you got the source files, which if you have ever done, if you've ever published your own book, you know a lot of times you're going to change things, or you just need to have those files to be able to manipulate them. I didn't know I would have the files so that we could basically, so I could have my assistant change the fonts on things and make it the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Let's see. I've also used them for the original novella and they did great. Well, I am super excited to hear that. And the thing is, Tammy loved them. She thought it was great for a magnet. And I probably would try them again for that. Maybe it was just the genre. The book was self-help. They had some decent self-help covers in their gallery, but I don't know. So that was my experience. I'm interested to hear anybody else. Inca's here. Hello. Very nice to see you. We're very glad you made it today. New here, outlined next few scenes of a bonus story and did some research. Good for you. Very nice. Shannon giving you the big welcome as well. Manon. Is it Manon? Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I apologize if I am. Hi, I'm new too, but I recognize a few names. Welcome. We are super glad to see you here. For those of you who are new, we are here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So I hope that we will see you. Matthew says, my book is not a comic.
Okay.
We were talking about the covers. Shannon says they also have a YouTube channel where they show making the designs. Do they show them cussing at Lisa Daly? I'm just saying. I was trying to be really nice, but I felt like at a certain point, like when you're on like the 6th revision, you're like, okay, this isn't working for all of us. Sorry, I meant to say I'm here often, but usually just lurk, and welcome to the new people. I know like we recognize you. You're here quite a bit. So we're very glad you're here today. Inca says they're part of the Mibble, a Ukrainian company. I haven't used Get Covers, but I did use Miblart once, and I didn't like having to go through a middleman. It took too long. Yeah, I can totally see that. That's interesting. Well, if they're Ukrainian, then I'm like, oh, I don't want to torture those poor people. They already have enough stuff going on. So maybe I should be nicer. I mean, I'm still pretty nice. I was frustrated, but I was still pretty nice. Eva, so nice to see you today. We're super glad you're here. Bouncing between mom life and editing, implementing my own developmental edits into book 1 of my middle grade series, down to 186-ish revisions to go. Good job. Mono? Is it mono or mano? I'm going to say mono.
I would say mono. Mono.
All right. Tell us if mono is wrong. But that's what we think it is. We're taking a vote, right? Mono. Okay.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Vixen says hello to everybody. Very, very nice. Well, we are just about done for today. There we go. Mono. Yay. I'm super glad about that. So before we go, let's just go around the circle again and say hey to everybody. Since we had some latecomers coming in, if you guys can just tell us a little about you and your awesome channel / book career. Michelle, I'm going to start with you this time.
Yay. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm a middle grade and young adult author, and my channel is writing workshops, writing blogs, and traditional publishing chat.
And an excellent channel it is. Thank you so much for being here today. As always, Story Detective. Tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
My awesome channel is and will be again the Story Detective, where I take various forms of storytelling from my time at Marvel Comics and as a writer and other forms that I've studied and put them all under a Sherlockian microscope, not all at once, break down the craft and give it to the viewer to make your craft journey easier. And hopefully you'll avoid the same mistakes that I have.
Can we ever, is it possible to have an author career where you don't make a bunch of mistakes?
I think it's part of growth. There's some that I wish I didn't make.
Yeah, I know that. I feel like when you learn, like you're like, "Ooh, thank goodness I didn't make that mistake." As you like walk into a puddle over here, like for me, that's
Yeah.
great. You like, oh well, I did this great.
And you know, when you're just starting out, you hear horror stories from everybody, and they try to give you a picture, and it may not be exactly like what they're saying, but at the time, you think that's not going to happen to me because you're that person. Little do you know that they'll trip you up in a way that's uniquely your own.
Right. Well, so that's really funny because I think we've talked about this a little bit before. My first book was nonfiction. It got like picked up by, at the time, this is how old I am. There were 6 big houses, the big 6. And there was like an auction. It was sold in a week. It was like this big thing. The book sold really well. I did a bunch of media for it. So I thought foolishly that I knew what I was doing and that I could just duplicate that for my next book. And it has never worked again in that same way. Like, I can duplicate some parts, but of course it's a constantly moving target. And then that book just had like a little magic in it, and it just sort of took off. And certainly some of the stuff that I did worked really well. But when I do it now,
yeah. You
like
kind of ride a wave of things once you get in there and somebody says, "Oh, we love you, you're great." Then you think, "I am the magic.
I am great. People do love me." Yes, that's exactly what we think, and that is foolish. Well, some people we love you. We all love you right here, right? You guys just stay here in our little love circle, our little publishing love circle. We are super glad to see you guys. I want to hop through the comments really fast just to say thanks. You guys are so awesome. We are so happy with you here that you guys are here with us today. Lainey, thank you so much for being on today and telling us about your Kickstarter. Will you tell the new folks who came in and anybody who doesn't already know you a little about you and your books?
Yeah, I write steamy contemporary romance, and I'm at laineydavis.com, and I live in Pittsburgh, and all my books are set here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic. I set all my books in Sarasota, same reason.
Yeah.
So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here today, and we will see you next Wednesday. Stay tuned on my channel because on Tuesday there's going to be a very special surprise. So mark your calendars. I'm so excited, you guys.
I can't wait to see it.
I know it's going to be awesome. So, all right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for everything. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.